Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live with me, Chase Lee, and my co-host,
Ryan Sutfield.
That's fucking right. And this week, we're going to take a look at Owen Wilson films, our top 5 favorite Owen Wilson films, as well as some honorable mentions and some of our least favorite films of his. If you guys are new to this is a show where we take the movies coming out on the Friday that this is airing on, and we look at a director, or an actor, or a genre, or just whatever is coming out that weekend, we apply to this week's show. The cool thing about this show is that we have no idea what's on each other's list, and it's live. So if you would like to comment in our places to ruffle our faces, you can do so. Just know that I will type back. So if you want to troll, that's fine. I'll troll back as hard as I can. So first of all, Brian, how you doing? How you doing today? You doing pretty good?
Yeah, I'm well. How are you?
You know, it is. Oh, wow. A whole list based on me? That's awesome. So that's right, guys. We're doing our top 5 Owen Wilson films. It's not going to be a very lengthy episode. I mean, Owen Wilson's he's a cool guy. He's a good actor. He's from my home state. Boom. But, you know, it's just the type of actor we're not going to spend too much time on. So without any further ado, Brian, go ahead and what are some movies of Owen Wilson's that just didn't really make the cut?
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Okay.
I like The Internship. I know it's a very mixed reviewed film. I personally dig it. I like
the unrated version, actually.
Yeah, I actually never saw the unrated version.
It's good.
Armageddon. I know it's Michael Bay, but it's a good. Listen, it's a good film. I like it. I'm gonna give a shout out to the Night at the Museum trilogy, even though it's not like the best. It would be in the middle. But since he's one of my favorite things about the entire trilogy, him and Steve Coogan as the miniature figures, they're always fun to watch in those films. The Life Adequate of Steve Zissou and Marley and Me. It's one of the hardest films I ever had to watch, but it is a very good film.
Okay, that's a pretty good list. I didn't really have too much on mine, but I'll go ahead and say a couple. Cars. I know people shit on that movie, but if you really think about it, he's actually got a pretty good voice for Lightning McQueen. So
I'm a car. Wow.
Oh, wow, guys, I'm a car. I'm racing around in circles. As Zoolander is also honorable. Listen, I like Zoolander. It's a very funny movie, but the 5 I put on my list, I'm very comfortable with. So yeah, Zoolander just etches out. And then this one, everyone shits on, but I'm going to totally back it up. Drill Bit Taylor. You remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Judd Apatow produced one. Listen, It's not the best Judd Apatow produced. I liked it, though. Josh Peck in there is a fucking dick. He's a pecker. He's a fucking pecker. Josh Peck is a pecker. He plays one of the bullies, and it's just awful. But I enjoyed it. So, yeah, those are the only honorable mentions I have. So, as usual, Brian, you go first. What is your number 5 pick for your Owen Wilson?
My number 5 goes to Zoolander.
Oh, wow. Okay, so why?
Wow.
Why is that on your list and it's not on my list? Why?
Because Zoolander is really funny. I'm a big fan of Ben Stiller, and I started rewatching this 2 days ago. I didn't get to finish it yet. So yeah, him as Hansel is so funny. I'm so happy that he's coming back for the sequel. Even though him and Ben Stiller worked together so many times, I'll bring up another movie that they did together later on this episode. Zoolander is just very funny. It's not so, like, I don't really, whenever I think of Zoolander, I don't comment about Owen Wilson's performance. I mainly comment about Ben Stiller as Derek Zoolander and Will Ferrell as Gontu. So it's a great film. I know that there are a few people out there who think it's really dumb. There's one YouTuber or one guy who's on YouTube. I'm not going to mention his name because me and Chase kind of talk nonsense about him, and he loves Zoolander. There's many YouTubers who love Zoolander, so we're not going to say who. But Zoolander is a pretty funny movie. It's definitely one of Ben Stiller's best films, and I would say watch it before the sequel comes out on February 12th.
Well, I have a question for you. What is actually your favorite Ben Stiller directed movie?
Tropic Thunder.
Me too. Well, a close second was, it's not even Zoolander. I actually really appreciate The Cable Guy for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't even.
Reality Bites is fantastic.
That one's good too. You know what I've always been a fan of Stiller. I know a lot of people are not a huge fan of him, but I actually like his directed movies more than just him solo acting movies. So
I can understand that.
I mean, he's a fantastic filmmaker. So nice, Zoolander number 5. So that's a comedy. I have a comedy at my number 5, and people are all going to be wandering around the world. People are going to be crying like little tear droplets out of their eyes when they realize that I put this so low, and I'm the comedy guy. Wedding Crashers is number 5.
Oh,
I know people are just like, what? Well, why is that not higher? Oh wow.
Wow.
Listen, I like Wedding Crashers as much as the next dude, and I think Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn have that chemistry that just works. But I have 4 other choices that I enjoy quite a bit more than this one. But it's a very funny, raunchy movie. I still remember when I was 17, my friend actually got it for me in high school for my 17th birthday, since I could start watching R-rated movies. And so that was one of the first ones I got as a gift. And yeah, I really like the I feel like this is spoiling, so I'm not going to say it. But there's a cameo in there. It's towards the end, but it's just absolutely fucking hilarious. And I won't say who it is or what it is, but it's the best part of the entire movie.
It involves meatloaf.
It involves meatloaf. And Bradley Cooper's also in this. There's just so many different actors and actresses you never would have thought were in this movie, but it's just one of those comedy classics. And it was actually the highest grossing R-rated comedy of all time until The Hangover came in and swept it up. So The Wedding Crashers still holds a place in my heart, and my raunchy little crude dirty heart. But it is what it is. It's number 5. It's enjoyable comedy. But since I put that so low, what the hell are my top 4? It's going to be very interesting. So, Brian, got my marker ready so I can put it on your list. What is your number 4?
My number 4 goes to the Royal Tenenbaums.
Interesting. Why is it so low? Do you just hate babies? Is that what you're doing?
No. I mean, it's not my favorite out of the Wes Anderson films that would still go to the Grand Budapest Hotel,
Okay.
Or possibly Fantastic Mr. Fox. But what I like about Royal Tenenbaums, I love all the performances in this film, especially Gene Hackman, even though there's a lot of shit that went on during the production of how he scared the shit out of Wes Anderson. I haven't seen this film in a long time. I really do want to rewatch it. The last time I saw it was before Grand Budapest came out, which was early last year. So I do plan on watching it again. I do like Owen Wilson's character. My favorite character is actually, I like Ben Stiller's story very much. I mean, I think it's funny with his Jufro. I think that's hilarious. And the kids all have the Jufros. I think that's hilarious. But I mean, it's a movie that just engages you from beginning to end. It has that unique Wes Anderson style that you see in all of his films. I would say that it's the best film that they've done together that I've seen. I actually haven't seen Bottle Rocket. I have yet to. That's the only Wes Anderson film I've yet to watch. And the cool thing about this is, a lot of people probably don't know this, but this movie was nominated for Best Original Screenplay. Wes Anderson wrote the screenplay, but he actually co-wrote it with Owen Wilson. Mm-hmm. So Owen Wilson's an Oscar nominee. Wow, I'm an Oscar nominee. Wow.
That impression is absolutely terrible.
I know. Thank you. I want to hear yours.
Oh wow, man, that's really cool.
Nah.
Oh shit.
Your best impression is Mark Wahlberg, Keanu Reeves, and Zoink Scoop.
So basically, what Brian is saying is that he's better than me. So if you are watching this episode, please comment down below who's got the better. Oh wow, Owen Wilson impression. It is what it is. But yeah, funny thing about the Royal Tenenbaums is that one of my ex-girlfriends, who's now a lesbian, she actually introduced me to Wes Anderson, true story. And I didn't know anything about this director, and she showed me the Royal Tenenbaums and I absolutely loved it. And I never had it in my collection, but I found it at a pawn shop like a few weeks ago. It's back there for $1. And this pawn shop's really cool. It's got DVDs for $1 and Blu-rays for $3. You can't fucking beat that. I got Star Wars: A New Hope for $1, son. Nice. So yeah, no, it's a great film, but I don't know much about it, so whatever. Number 4 is for me. Funny little story about this one. I was sitting in a theater, but I was by myself because I go to the movies by myself and cry a lot. it was like me and like 20 other people in the audience or whatever, and I was like, I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
Oh boy, I know where you're going with this.
And God damn it, I did, and I just Marley and Me, man. I actually really like that movie. It's not my favorite dog movie. Believe it or not, it's not even Airbud is like a guilty pleasure, but my favorite one I've actually really liked since I was a kid, and I've seen it over and over again. Yeah, Old Yeller is great, but Brian, did you ever see My Dog Skip with Frankie Muniz?
Yeah, with Frankie Muniz.
Yeah, I love that movie. It's so you want to say that you don't cry in movies? Watch My Dog Skip, and at the very end, if you don't cry, you're not fucking human. So Marley and Me it did that. It made me cry. I actually liked Owen Wilson and Jennifer Aniston's relationship. Oddly enough, I thought it was really genuine. It was just a nice little family movie about a dog growing up and parting ways with their owners. I mean, you can't get more emotionally manipulative than that. But it was a very sweet movie. What can I say? I'm a fucking nice guy at heart. Yeah, it shocks you, doesn't it? But yeah, Marley and Me, number 4. And I have it somewhere. Oh, there it is. So I found it. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but I definitely don't want to cry by myself in my living room because it would look awkward. So, Brian, what is your number 3? Hey, whoa! Before you say your number 3, you saw Marley and Me, right?
Not in the theater.
Did you cry?
Yeah, of course. My dog died around the time I saw that movie.
I feel you, man. One of my family dogs died a couple years ago, and it reminded me just like Marley and Me. I was like, oh, man. So, yeah. If you don't cry at Marley and Me, there's no soul. There's nothing in you. You're just a hollow, like, shell that was filled with, like, organs and shit. That's all you were filled with. So, Brian, what is your number 3?
My number 3 goes to Meet the Parents.
Whoa! Okay, wait a minute. Owen Wilson that has a side role.
I know, but we're talking about films.
True, but it's like, isn't that more Ben Stiller's movie though?
Yes, but still, I mean, just recently watching again, it's a fucking great. It's one of the best comedies of the last 15 years, and I think it's celebrating its 15th anniversary this year.
I still remember the volleyball scene. I still remember that.
Oh, the lie detector scene.
Yep.
Do you watch porn?
Oh, it's great. Did you I don't think I've ever asked you this because I like Meet the Parents as well. Did you like Meet the Fockers?
I liked Meet the Fockers.
Did you like Little Fockers?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, that was bad. I didn't really like it.
No, that's in my dishonorable mentions.
Yeah, I absolutely hated Little Fockers, but I really...
No, his character got worse in that movie. I mean, his character was just very creepy.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, his character is meant to be creepy, but not in... Ugh. But yeah, I love Meet the Parents. I think it's one of the best comedies, like I said, the last 15 years. De Niro doing this role is honestly cool as hell because he's done comedy before Meet the Parents, but he never did a role like this. Like you watch Owen Wilson, the ex-boyfriend of Pam was played by Terry Polo. She's dating Ben Stiller, Greg, and he has to meet her parents, wife Danner, and Robert De Niro. It's a great film. De Niro and Ben Stiller, it's just cool. You never would have expected to see them two in a movie together. Because Ben Stiller was very big in the 90s, and he started to become bigger in the 2000s. Like, he started to become much bigger at that time. De Niro was already big because he did all the crime movies and everything that he did, and it's just really cool seeing them do a film together. I think Meet the Parents is fantastic. Guys, if you haven't seen it, please check it out. It's directed by Jay Roche, who's directing the upcoming movie Trumbo with Bryan Cranston.
Well, Jay Roach, I gotta give it to Austin Powers.
Yeah,
I think those are probably my favorites of his. Yeah, Meet the Parents is good. I couldn't put it on my list or even honorable mentions because I just felt like his role was so small.
Yeah, but his character is very crucial to the trilogy.
It's crucial, but I couldn't do it, man. I really couldn't. But then again, when I say my next choice, you might battle back at me. So
depends on what it is.
Well, number 3 for me, we're about to get Wes Anderson on everyone's asses. I'm gonna do Grand Budapest at number 3.
Yeah, but he has a small part in that too.
But wouldn't you say that it's more crucial than Meet the Parents?
I guess, but
well, whatever. Our criteria is,
but it is films. It's a great fucking film.
Hey, well, listen.
And there are so many people out there who don't even like Wes Anderson. And they adore this film. Nick Gucci from Leawood Film hates Wes Anderson, but he adores this film.
And the thing is, like, I think our criteria is, as long as it's not a cameo and it's at least a supporting character somewhere, then it counts. But if it's just a cameo, that shit doesn't count.
Yeah.
But he's not a cameo in Grand Budapest. He actually has like a part. But yeah, listen, like I said, before my lesbian ex-girlfriend introduced me to Wes Anderson, I didn't know who he was. I never watched any of his movies, and now I'm a huge fan of him. I actually have Budapest, Royal Tenenbaums, Moonrise Kingdom, and that's it. And then I haven't seen anything else. I need to though. But anyways, yeah, Grand Budapest is just I love the one thing I like about this, other than other Wes Anderson movies, it jumps through time, and it's got the widescreen look, it's got the 4:3 look, it's got an even smaller look. It's fantastic, and I love the story. I love Ray Fiennes in there. He's great. I love the little crime story within it, and Wes Anderson's kooky, quirky style just reeks all over this movie. But it works, and you're right. I actually talked to a few, because I saw this at a press screening last year, and I remember the people I was with, there were people around me, they did not really care for Wes Anderson either, but after the movie was done, they were just like, I really dug that. That was really great. So if you have not seen Budapest, I think Brian and I would both agree, if you want to get introduced to Wes Anderson, watch this one first. I think if you watch Budapest first and you like the style, then you'll probably appreciate his other movies. If you don't like it, then sure. But the Grand Budapest, besides Royal Tenenbaums, I think is the highest grossing one. But I think Royal Tenenbaums is still his highest grossing movie. So those are the two most commercial for sure. So for me, number 3, Grand Budapest Hotel. Brian, what is your number 2?
My number 2 goes to Wedding Crashers. Now, this was really tough because this is a comedy celebrating its 10th year anniversary. I adore this film. I could watch this movie over and over again, never get bored by it. Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson have fantastic chemistry together. I bought them as friends, and that was the thing that was very exciting about the internship. Now, I know the internship was kind of a disappointment, but I dug it. I actually really liked it. But yeah, you bought them as like best friends, like just crashing weddings and sleeping with women. That's like the greatest fucking thing ever. And I mean, then, he meets Rachel McAdams, and, she's looking gorgeous as hell. Then Bradley Cooper's there, and then the great Christopher Walken's there. And then Owen Wilson gets seduced by, what's her name? Jane, I forgot her name. Shit. Jane. It is a truly great film. It's funny from beginning to end. I love the story. Some people may say it gets a little slow later on in the movie. I disagree. Jane Seymour, that's her name, Jane Seymour. So, but yeah, like the cast is great. The writing is great. The direction is great. It's directed by the guy who went on to direct The Judge, which I thought was a pretty good film. Not great, pretty good film, but So I would probably say it's my favorite Vince Vaughn comedy. I know a lot of people say Old School. I think Old School's good. I don't think it's great, but I think it's a pretty good film. But this, like, the characters are well developed. I mean, it's just really entertaining. And when a comedy makes you laugh, then it does its job right. When it doesn't make you laugh, because I recently watched Unfinished Business with Owen Wilson. Not Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn, excuse me. And that film did not make me laugh one bit. I know, gunshot to the head. I agree. But yeah, it's Wedding Crashers is fantastic.
Don't even make me talk about that movie again. That movie is
never again. Don't worry. If we ever do a Vince Vaughn episode, that could be your worst.
Holy shit, that was bad.
But yeah, Wedding Crashers is fantastic. I love it.
That's quite.
I'm just happy it's on your list, or because some people think it's overrated.
Well, I can see their point. It's not a movie for everyone. looking at our list, before I get to my number 2, I'm going to bet that we have the same number 1.
I think we do.
I think we do. Guys, I honestly don't know his list, but I'm thinking just by default, we probably have the same number 1. But we'll get to that. So number 2 for me, I'm going Anderson again. I'm doing Tenenbaums. It's probably the best one, and I think it's just because I love the dysfunctional family between Hackman, Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson, Ben Stiller. And you said that Ben Stiller is your favorite storyline. I actually like Luke Wilson's because his was.
I like his storyline too.
His was really, really, really tragic, and I love that dysfunctional. I love dysfunctional family movies.
Yeah,
you add a dysfunctional family to the Wes Anderson color palette, cinematography, art direction, and style.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a really unique experience. It's actually, for me personally, it's actually his funniest one. It's a really, really funny movie, but it's got those really hard-hitting drama elements that do hit very well, and they don't take you out of the movie. It transitions nicely and stuff. Because, like I said, Luke Wilson's character is pretty damn traumatic. And then Gwyneth Paltrow was also in it. She's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I remember correctly, the 3 siblings are Owen Wilson, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Ben Stiller, right?
I think so.
Or is it Luke Wilson and Owen Wilson's the neighbor? I forgot.
I see. There's too many people, so I don't remember everything that goes on in that film.
I always get it mixed up, but 3 of them are the siblings, and one of them is the neighbor, and they just hangs out with them a lot. Royal Tenenbaums. I would say that one or Budapest, like I said, will probably be the best introductions to a Wes Anderson world. Maybe that or Fantastic Mr. Fox, since that's more children-oriented. So
that was the first film of his that I saw. So
yes,
well, it came out when I was younger. So like, yeah,
I honestly don't know everyone's taste, but like I said, if you want to jump into the Wes Anderson train, if you will. Royal Tenenbaums, Grand Budapest, or Fantastic Mr. Fox would probably be the best bet for you. So that's my number 2. So we're down to our number 1s. I'm just gonna take a stab at it.
One guess. You have one guess.
One guess.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, is your film directed by a Jewish guy?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so we have the same number 1. That was easy. Brian, go ahead and introduce our number 1s to the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, our number 1 Owen Wilson film goes to Midnight in Paris.
That's fucking right. So I'll let you go first. Actually, if you sum it up perfectly, I won't have much to say. Why is this the number 1 for you?
First of all, it's my favorite Woody Allen film. This was one of the first few films of his that I see. I think it was the 3rd film of his that I saw. I remember seeing Annie Hall was first, and then I saw Match Point, and then I saw this. This film is consistently fantastic from beginning to end. I mean, the idea of Owen Wilson, someone who's a writer, he goes to Paris with his girlfriend, played by Rachel McAdams. And so one night he's just walking around Paris, and then all of a sudden he's in the 1920s. That's a great premise. And with Woody Allen, it works very well. And, with the comedy, it works because he's like, wow, I'm in the 20s. Wow. I'm not going to attempt to do an impression again. So, I mean, like, he meets, like, F. Scott Fitzgerald and Ernest Hemingway. Like, he meets all these famous writers. And it's such a clever premise that it works very well. Like, because you may think of this and you may think, like, oh, this might not work. It's like Woody Allen's Back to the Future in a way. I don't know why. It's like his Back to the Future. And Owen Wilson is fantastic here. I actually think he could have been nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor. I thought he was really – this is, to me, his best performance. This is also a reason why it's my number 1 of his. It won the Oscar for Original Screenplay because, I mean, Woody Allen is a fantastic writer. Say what you want about the man. The man is a fucking weirdo. I mean, I don't even – just the shit that he does in real life. Yeah. But he's still a great writer, and he directs a movie every single year. The guy's almost 80. And he's directed over 40 films of his whole career. That's fucking insane. That's just crazy. But, like, it's just, I love the idea. I love movies like this. I remember watching this in my English class in 8th grade. and it was so cool. Like, it was so much fun, and it was cool seeing non-film people get into Woody Allen. Most of my class liked it. Some people thought it was just No one hated it, which I'm glad, but it was a really consistent movie. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I've yet to pick it up on Blu-ray. I really want to, and I think it's my favorite Woody Allen film.
It's I remember when I saw it in theaters, and that was my first Woody Allen film in theaters. And I remember
I've only seen one Woody Allen film in theaters, and that's Magic in the Moonlight.
Oh, nice! I saw
that wasn't very good.
The only ones I've ever seen are Midnight in Paris and Blue Jasmine. And so
love Blue Jasmine.
Midnight in Paris, it's like Brian summed it up. I don't need to say anymore. It's Owen Wilson's the type of guy to where he can deliver comedy very well, but he's very humble and he's very like kind of subdued as a person in general. So having him in this more like calm, kind of majestic story, it totally works for his personality. And the thing is, we go to the movies to escape reality and go on this like fantasy adventure for a couple hours and just forget about everything in the real world. This is why we go to the movies. Like Midnight in Paris is like, it's like a movie you would see when you're a kid, and it's got like that type of like fantasy feel and stuff. It feels like a movie that was made back in the 30s, and it was like transported back to us in today's time.
Exactly.
It's just a very magical movie. It is Woody Allen, one of Woody Allen's best. I still like Annie Hall. Annie Hall is a pretty great one, but Midnight in Paris is just, it's good, man. Like everything just clicks. Writing.
I think it's a good film to get on the Woody Allen train if you want to get on like watching his films. I think this is a good film to start off with.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. If you want to get into watching Woody Allen movies, do Midnight in Paris and then go on Netflix and watch Annie Hall, because then you'll get to see like two different time periods of what Woody Allen was like as a director, and it's just fantastic to watch. Yeah, man, Midnight in Paris. It was one of my favorites of 2011, and there's really nothing more you can say. It's just a nice fantasy, magical adventure that's the reason why we go to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's a pretty good list, man. We actually, oh shit, oh wow, we actually have 3 movies in common. I think this
show off the list to the people. Show it.
Okay, hold on. Let me write yours down. All right. So, my list: Midnight in Paris, Royal Tenenbaums, Budapest, Marley and Me, and Wedding Crashers. Brian actually we have the same number 1. Then he's got Wedding Crashers, Meet the Parents, Royal Tenenbaums, and Zoolander. We actually have 3 out of the 5. This is the closest one we've ever been to actually having like 5 of them on our list that are the same. So congratulations, we won. What was the prize? Nothing. So before we go, as usual, we do the least favorite Owen Wilson movies. Now, I only have 1. Now, when I walked out of this movie, I wanted to throw like a chair against a wall because I didn't understand like why it was made or just what was going through the fucking creator of Mad Men's head, Mr. Wiener. So, Are You There? That's the movie I'm picking. It is absolutely the worst one. I remember walking out of it going, I don't even know.
I've never seen that movie.
It's terrible. I walked out. I did not know what to feel. I felt cold and distant, like as if I ate like something really horrid, like at a restaurant.
Yeah.
It left a bad feeling all over my body, and I was like, I don't even know what to make of this. It just felt disjointed. Nothing really made sense. I didn't like any of the performances, and it's such a travesty because Owen Wilson's in it, Zach Galifianakis, and Amy Poehler, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, it's from the creator of Mad Men. I was excited, but God, it was just such a misfire, and it didn't do well. It tanked horribly, and for that reason alone, it's got a really low score on Rotten Tomatoes too. So I'm not the only one. Yeah, so that's the only one I was going to pick because everything else he's done has been at least decent with me. So that's it for me. So What is your worst Owen Wilson movie?
Well, I brought up Little Fockers as dishonorable mention, and I have one more dishonorable mention. It's How Do You Know? You know that movie with him, Reese Witherspoon, and Jack Nicholson? It was the last movie that Jack Nicholson did. It's the most recent movie that he's done. The only good thing in that movie was Paul Rudd. That was the only good thing. Well, because he's Paul Rudd, so it's an exception. So yeah, my worst. I know this isn't exactly a film that I'm sure people forgot about this movie because of how awful it is. I'm going with Marmaduke. Do you remember that movie, Marmaduke, where he's the fucking Great Dane? That movie.
I completely forgot about Marma shit. Holy crap, man! Wow, that. I remember when that movie came out, and it looked so bad. I was like, the creator.
It looked like the next Garfield of how shitty he was.
Listen, I don't know if the creator of Marmaduke is still alive, but he must have been fucking. He or she must have been fucking furious when that movie.
Sure, it's so bad.
Wow,
yeah, dog, cool. Okay, that's cool. But then, okay. So then there's this cat voiced by George Lopez. What? Are you kidding me? And then there's this one dog voiced by Fergie, and then her boyfriend is voiced by Kiefer Sutherland. Boyfriend, you're not a human. You're a fucking dog.
Oh, it's so.
Calm your shit.
Oh, it's so bad. Why did you bring that up? Okay, listen.
It is his worst. I haven't seen the one that you picked, but this is his worst. Dude, no question, it's his worst.
Are You Here is just, it's something magical, man. It's a great train wreck. So yeah, listen, I think Owen Wilson. It's hard to say because I think him and his brother are kind of even right now because Luke is actually starting to come back and do more independent films.
Yeah.
In terms of who's better, I don't know, man. They're kind of just even, and I kind of want them to excel. I'm glad Owen's trying new things with No Escape, and that's why we did this list because No Escape came out this week. I applaud him for trying something different, especially with him and Belle both, because they're primarily known for comedy. I'm glad they tried something different. It's just I couldn't buy into it because the whole premise and the story was kind of thin, and some of it was kind of too far fetched for my imagination. So I was like, yeah, but at least he tried. So I'm glad they're trying new things. I want them to continue to get better, and hopefully Zoolander 2 will be a nice return for Owen Wilson. That's so. With that being said, before we go, Brian, what is next week's?
Next week, there's nothing coming out at all.
Oh,
so we're going to be doing our top 5 films of summer 2015.
All right.
This is going to be a fun list, people. I'm sure Chase might have a lot of indies on. I mean, obviously, there's only 5 slots, but I'm sure Chase is going to have a pretty good amount of indies. I mean, yeah, there's only 5 films to pick from, so
I don't know.
Honestly, I kind of feel like me and him have the same number 1. I have a feeling. I don't know.
I'm trying. Wait,
my number 1 is definitely in your top 5. It definitely is in your top 5.
Oh, okay. I know which one you're talking about. No, that one for sure. If you and I are thinking the same one, that's gonna be on the top 5 somewhere. I just don't know where yet. Yeah, I don't know if that's my number 1, but I know it's my least favorite. Fuck you, Fantastic Four. Okay, so that's a little preview into next week's. So anyways, that will do it for this week's episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live. Brian, where can the kids find you online?
Kids, you can find me on Twitter at BrianSutz98 and on YouTube at youtube.com/BrianSutfield.
It's really ironic because Brian's 17 and he just called everyone kids. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at RealChaseLee. If you want to subscribe to this, you can do whatever you want. All the links will be in the description below. The music at the beginning and the end of this show is from my band, my friend's band, Fervent Roze. If you want to listen to more of their music, link will be in the description below as well. So that will do it for this week of another episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live, favorite Owen Wilson films. I'm Chase Lee.
I'm Brian Sutfield.
That's fucking right. We'll see you guys next week for the top 5 summer movies of 2015. It's going to be an interesting list because I watched 32 movies from May 1st till Straight Outta Compton. So that's a lot to fucking pick from. This is gonna be.
Well, you watched a lot of indies. I've only watched maybe 25, maybe.
It doesn't matter. It's still a hard list to choose from. So we'll see you guys next week for the top 5 summer films. Peace out, everyone. Let's play the outro music. Oh man, Owen Wilson. What a great guy. What a sport. What a great guy. All right, see you guys later.